Hi guys, what I want to do in this little short video is just give you a little recap of how methods work, the two kinds, and then we'll give you some hints on how to do some of the assignment questions. Okay, so this program I'm looking at is called Simple Methods. We did it in class, and when we did the example in class, we mentioned that it contains two different kinds of methods. And if you look at this part right in here, this kind of method has the word void, and this is a simple method where you go and do something like display an answer, and that's it. You don't actually work out the answer here. You just display the answer and return. All right. The second kind of method is this kind, which usually has a word in front of it, like int, double, and even string. All right. And this one again accepts information, but it returns an answer. All right. And you notice this line right here that's being called from it's called multiply. It has to store the answer that it returns with somewhere. This one, which was the first example I showed you with the word void, it doesn't have an equal sign because it's not going to return an answer. It's just going to go there, display an answer, and that's it. So that's the difference between the two. Then what we did is I said you have to do the assignment, obviously questions 1 to 5, and I did this one with you, and actually I'm going to do this one with you too, so you're only going to have to really do a couple of them. Anyway, this first one here, you wanted to ask the person the length, width, and height of a box, and then figure out the volume. Pretty straightforward math. You just got to make sure we know how to do it in computer. So basically, what you need to do is you're going to tell the computer there's 3 numbers coming, and you can't, especially for width and height, you can't spell them exactly like you would because they're special words to the computer. So it would mix up your answer. We're working out the volume, obviously. This is where you ask the 3 questions, and then you invent the volume, whatever you want to call it. I called it vol method. Now notice, it's got the word int in front of it because we're going to do some math equation, get the answer, and throw it back to whoever wants it. So who wants it? This guy right here wants it. Okay? And when we come back with the answer, we're going to store it in here, and then we'll print it out. So length gets passed down to L. It's an L, even though it looks like a 1. Width gets passed to W, and height gets passed to H. We take those 3 numbers, of course, times them together, and you get an answer, and you return the answer back here. All right, so it's kind of neat. This is your basic idea when you use methods. All right. Okay, so let's take a look at the second example. All right, so this was new. This one I didn't do with you guys in class, so I wanted to show you this because I'm not here live and in person to do it. This one here, it comes back with a word instead of a number. You feed it a number, 7, 8, whatever, and when you feed the number, and I want to know whether it's an even number or an odd number. So you're going to have to send a number down to a method and return a string. Let's take a look at how we do that one. So first of all, you feed it a number, which is an integer. You're going to figure out an answer, but it's a word answer, right? So the result's going to be a string. So this is where you ask the person to give me a number. And this is the method I invented to do this question. So here's the method. Now remember, you've got to feed it a number. So here is the number that you feed it. But look at, you put the word string in front. Okay, so it's going to return a word. So now we got to figure out even and odd. And maybe to you that was the hardest part of this question. How do you figure out evens and odds? You might have forgotten this, but we learned this thing called a percent sign a couple weeks ago. And what it does is work out remainders. So basically, to figure out if something's even or odd, if you divide something by 2, like 8 by 2, and it goes in evenly and nothing left over, then it's even. Okay? Now if you divide 7 by 2, it goes in 3 times and 1 left over, then that's odd. Okay, and I like to do it this way. I don't like to have 12 different returns. You should only have 1 return. Now this return comes back to here, all right, which is a word, and then we just print out the answer, and here's how it works. Okay, so I type in 6, that's even. I type in 7, and that's odd. Okay, so those are some hints. I hope you picked up on what I did, and they'll help you do the assignment.